They're ordinary men with an extraordinary secret.
The padded underwear does add a little more junk in the trunk.
They're not freaky people. They're just like you and me.
They squeeze into masks and bodysuits to transform into life-size rubber dolls.
That's one of the things I have to keep telling myself. That's not just a 7-year-old man, that's me inside that female. God.
Transforming into eye-popping ideals of beauty.
When I dress up and I put this mask on and the wig and, look very nice, it's like a beautiful woman walking down the street.
Not all of them even want to be hot. Some of them want to be a nasty hag.
Most keep their secret behind closed doors.
I wouldn't walk, 20 steps down the road dressed as a doll.
I'm not going anywhere near that. Oh, come on.
For fear of public humiliation.
That's a man. That's a man. Now, give it. What you eat?
Now, some of them are ready to reveal themselves to the world.
It's a little overwhelming right now.
This is an exclusive look behind the masks of men who dress as rubber dolls. "70-year-old Robert is a semi-retired property developer who lives a comfortable suburban life in Orange County, California.
This is what they used to call the Great Room. The house was built, I believe, in 1927, Spanish Revival style. I've been all around the world. I enjoyed traveling when I was younger, and I used to like to bring back things that I thought were exciting and interesting.
Recently divorced after a 10-year marriage, Robert shares his home with his teenage daughter. But he shares his hobby with no one.
I'm upstairs. The only thing upstairs is my bedroom and my bath, so people don't come up here.
His prized possessions are carefully hidden from view, and he's recently added to his secret collection.
Okay, now, let's see. This is my new FemSkin. It's they call it the HD model. It's brighter than my other FemSkin, the brighter color. You have to roll it down to about the waist before you can pull it on. Okay, you have to put in a lot of powder so you don't stick to it. And this is why I do it over the bathtub, so it doesn't make a big mess in my bathroom.
For a dozen years, Robert has spent his spare time dressing up as Sherry. As he ages, he enjoys looking young and glamorous.
You look amazing.
And that's why I do this, because I think so too. I just can't believe that that's a 70-year-old man in the mirror. And that's why I do this. If I saw a 70-year-old man in the mirror, I'd quit this tomorrow.
What do you see when you look in the mirror?
A very exciting female. If I were to see a regular woman like this, and she would say, "Come on, let's hang out." I'd say, "Okay, let's go hang out." This just blows my hair back. That I can do this. That's me in there. That's one of the things I have to keep telling myself. That's not just a 7-year-old man, that's me inside that female. God.
She's amazing.
And she's all mine.
Robert's daughter knows nothing of his secret life as a female master. Sherry emerges only when he is home alone.
I'm in a don't ask, don't tell situation with my daughter now.
Safely concealed behind the walls of his courtyard, Robert spends hours inside his silicone creation.
God, that's fabulous.
After years in solitude, Robert has decided to appear in public as Sherry at a gathering of fellow maskers in Minneapolis.
I dressed in the closet for 12 years before I ever came out. Nobody ever saw me. I wasn't online. Nobody saw me.
But the thought of stepping out into the world fills him with anxiety.
People say, masked people are bank robbers. Scary, threatening, you know. In the horror movies, murderers wear masks.
The suits Robert wears come from an unlikely source. Tucked away in the Deep South is a small family business that specializes in the creation of female masking products.
Good afternoon, Femskin. May I help you? We're a normal family. We laugh together, we cry together, we eat together, we go bicycle riding together. We do everything normal families do. We just happen to own a unique business.
I can't tell you how many forks we go through in this house. Forks.
We make products that nobody else out there makes. We all work for the company. We are completely family owned and operated.
The business is one of several that creates products for maskers around the world.
Our package, the Femskin 3 package, is like, you get the Femskin 3, you get the implants, you get the leg padding, the thigh padding, and you get the pouch kit. So it's like $1,800 value.
They're not freaky people. They're not weird. There's nothing different about them. They're just like you and me, what they call vanilla people, except for at night or on special occasions, they like to put on a mask. If that's what they like to do, why not?
Really, I don't think it'd be fair to even call them gay or even attracted to another male in any sense. It's about fun, really, in general. A lot of men have fun pretending to be women. Not all of them even want to be hot. Some of them want to be a nasty hag.
I think that one of the hardest things for them to do is come out as a doll.
The company was founded by Barbara's late husband, Chuck, in 2006. After his death 3 years ago, his family devoted themselves to continuing his work.
It just was my husband's heart and soul, is this company. This is his legacy, and sorry. It's something that he worked on, so it's something that we feel very strong about, me and the boys. We absolutely will keep this company going at whatever cost it takes us.
Chuck developed and designed the silicone products, a skill that's been passed down to son Adam.
The one thing for me that I won't stand for is anything that I feel is like a taking away from his vision. It's not going to happen. If I feel like it isn't something my dad would have done, Femskin's not going to do it, period.
What do you think would be your best skin tone color? We have soft, medium, deep, and from what I see of you, I would recommend medium, but that's up to you.
I'd probably say the medium skin tone as well.
A set of D implants?
Yes, that'd be great.
Do you like the installed rectum in it or no?
I'd say yes, probably on that one.
Coming up, doll power.
When I dress up and I put this mask on and the wig, you become one of the, I guess what you would call one of the beautiful people, and you draw a lot of attention. And attention is not something that I've had a lot of.
In England, 28-year-old bartender Joel is unpacking after moving in with his girlfriend Mel.
Are these pea chaser tops?
You're not hanging them up?
Oh, did you want them on hangers?
Yeah.
Oh, I fold mine up and leave them up top.
A masker since the age of 15, Joel estimates he's spent more than $15,000 on dolling up.
This is the mask itself. Mouth opens, there's nose holes, there's just, ear holes. There's good vision out of it, and it's got a beautiful face to it. What do I get out of masking? Well, I get enjoyment out of it. I get a
a sense of escapism out of it. I'm just out to have fun. And it's kind of like an extension of another persona within me that wants to go out and have fun. The conundrum with it is, you know, everyone would ask the question, what do you do when you're dressed up? And the funny thing is, oddly enough, not a lot. You know, we might just sit there and take photos for the sake of putting them up on the website, or just spend the day like it, because that's how I want to be for that day.
I love Joel very much. He's such a lovely person. He's a bit of a geek, likes his gaming and his medieval reenactment that he does. You want to pick me on the cheek?
Do I want to pick your cheek? Maybe.
Joel is comfortable sharing his quirks with his girlfriend, but he fears the potential fallout of masking in public.
I wouldn't walk, 20 steps down the road dressed as a doll. So I know for a fact the general society in the area that we live in would be very, very anti against it. Who knows what could happen?
Relatively few maskers are willing to risk ridicule in the outside world. Instead, they've built a thriving virtual community, which includes a popular social networking site that hosts chats, photos, and videos. That's where Joel met his friend Tiff, a man very comfortable in his silicone skin. Tiff's on his way to Joel's new home, in full attire.
Hey. Yeah. What do I need to handle with? Everything?
Tiff is on a mission to lift masking's profile.
You've got more guts than I have to go out in public.
It's great fun. Going out in public is one of those things that you'd think would be really scary and that you get abuse from people. But generally speaking, the great British public is very open to new things.
I don't think they'd accept this at all.
Yeah, but that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it more accepted. I look at this as an extension of amateur dramatics. But that might be just me being pretentious.
Yeah,
justifying it to myself. Oh, bad head, eh? I bet I get served at the bar before you do, then.
I'm not going anywhere near a bar.
Oh, come on.
They probably look at us as a bunch of complete weirdos.
Minneapolis is home to the Rubber Doll World Rendezvous, an annual gathering of maskers from across the country.
Then I just pull it forward so the eyeballs align and I can see pretty clearly.
Local resident John helps organize the event. He's been interested in dressing as a female since his teenage years.
Quite honestly, when I was younger, I was very introverted. I didn't have the means I didn't think I had the means, charm, charisma, body, whatever it looks, to have a sexy girlfriend. And I loved women. I used to collect pictures of swimsuit models. And so I decided to emulate a sexy female, to basically make what I couldn't have.
Now, he's a leader on the masking scene.
I have quite a dichotomy between my hobbies and my professional life. I work in a warehouse. I drive a forklift. I used to build hot rods even. I am masculine in that sense. I also have children. A lot of kids.
He lives with wife Sunny and their 6 daughters. John doesn't feel the need to keep his hobby a secret.
You don't have to have your guard up and necessarily be fearful of other people if you want to dress in a way that makes you feel really good. One guy in particular that I trust at work, he knows that I put on the boobies.
Today, John meets with fellow event organizer Vanessa.
John and I had some issues in our marriage, and part of that was due to his excessive involvement with rubber dolling. He pretty much does dress up at least once a week as Jennifer to either take some pictures or go out to a club or hang out with Vanessa. But yeah, it's at least once a week.
Sunny is John's second wife. He says his peculiar hobby contributed to the failure of his first marriage.
This does affect my relationships because I make my priorities, and sometimes other people are not happy by my choices.
51-year-old Vanessa is also a father of 6. Masking gives him a special feeling lacking in his regular life.
When I'm in my male mode as a man, I go out into public and I just blend in. And when I walk down the street, people don't pay any attention to me. But when I dress up and I put this mask on and the wig and, look very nice, it's like a beautiful woman walking down the street. You become one of the, I guess what you would call one of the beautiful people. And you draw a lot of attention. And attention is not something that I've had a lot of growing up and getting to the age that I'm at.
Coming up, Joel has a big announcement for his best friends.
It is sort of coming out. It's like coming out of a dollhouse.
As John organizes the Rubber Doll World Rendezvous in Minnesota, the Ramos family in Florida frantically pack up their products to display at the event.
It's a huge time of the year for us. We're very excited for it. I think the most important thing for us is to be able to meet some of our clients on a face-to-face basis.
This year, Adam will represent the company for the first time.
He's never met them. My husband Chuck has always been the one to deal with or go meet, and they don't know Adam from Adam. So for them and for him, it's very, very important.
Adam will give a presentation about their latest product line.
I think you're probably going to be up there for maybe an hour. You got to do an hour. Yeah, you got to do an hour. You have to. And I'll bet you they'll have enough questions to make that hour go by really quick.
I'm fine. I think I'll be fine.
Oh, I know you'll be fine. You just got to get funny. Like, be your funny Adam instead of your serious Adam, I think would work out best.
He has big shoes to fill. His dad, Chuck, was a legend in the masking community.
They're fans of my father. They're fans of who my father is more than anything. And I have to make them fans of me.
English masker Joel has spent years coming to terms with his alternate identity.
Sure, do you think it'd be easy, something like this?
Joel is grateful for his girlfriend's acceptance, but his parents aren't so forgiving.
I've lived at home up until the glorious age of 28, and in those 28 years, I've probably had freedom of a 4-year-old. I was never allowed a lock on my room door. I had 3 absolutely beautifully made female masks, and I had them on little foam heads that I had on the top of my wardrobe. And I just put them up there. I just thought, you know what, I'm not going to hide this anymore. I went away on holiday, came back, and they're gone. My mum is definitely very old-fashioned. She's just like, this is turning into a bit of an obsession. What is it? Tell me about it. You know, anything. And the first thing she came out with, are you gay? And I'm like, no, I'm not. Why would you ask something like that? Because I've gone out and bought a female-based mask.
Parental disapproval kept Joel from going public with his masking until now.
Oh, that broke down on my back. Sorry.
He's about to share his obsession with his best friends, Phil and Claire.
I would hope that when I show people my doll side, their reactions would be balanced. I don't mind if, people have got a bad opinion of it. That's their opinion. I also don't mind if people want to embrace it. Again, that's their opinion. I'd rather keep it neutral. It is sort of coming out. It's like coming out of a dollhouse.
Claire and Phil have known Joel for about 10 years, but they've never met Jesse.
Oh, I'm putting it on, am I?
It's quite a transformation, imagine. I was not expecting how different,
completely different.
Well, you seemed a little bit freaked out.
I've just taken a step back because it's not seen it before, and I've only seen the odd bits and bobs. Oh, you want a hug? Oh yeah, you get a hug though. But I've never seen it before, so it's a moment of process.
Did I see you checking out the figure?
Yeah, it's just because I've seen Joel, and it's just like he's obviously wearing some sort of bodysuit and corset as well. He kind of hides. I just don't know what to say, really. Nothing wrong with it. It's just... I haven't shown you this before. If this is what you want to do, it makes you happy, and maybe it.
I felt fantastic. Me personally, I actually felt quite fantastic that now two of my closest friends can actually see not the, I wouldn't say the dark side, but the alternative side.
It's quite, it's nice, you know, it's like it shows you trust and a friendship. You get a lot of people who ironically wear a false skin, who try to be someone they're not, who lie to you to impress you.
What was a fake mask?
Like, he's wearing a mask, but underneath that mask he's always been an honest friend. I've had a lot of friends who don't wear masks who lie to me.
Coming up, Robert preps for Sherry's first ever appearance at the Rubber Doll Rendezvous.
Jeez, I don't know. No, I'm gonna go with that. Got them leather gloves. Okay. I think that's it.
The Rubber Doll World Rendezvous is an annual convention for the global masking community, the men who dress up in silicone bodysuits and masks. Organizer John wants to encourage attendees to be comfortable in their silicone skin.
One of my themes that I promote the RWR with is that it is doing ordinary things in extraordinary clothes. The Rubber Doll people really catch on to that because that's what they crave. They want to be able to go to a restaurant. They want to be able to drive a car. They want to be able to be out in public and just walking around in their favorite stuff, getting all kinds of feedback and attention, and they can't do it in their own city, or they won't do it because they're alone.
70-year-old Robert is traveling from California to Minneapolis to reveal his doll persona in the flesh for the first time at the rendezvous.
Let's see. Here's a bag of padding. I'll take padding. This is a bag of, I believe, nylons. And then here's my femme skin shorty. Get that in here. Here are the breast forms. Yes. It's completely unfamiliar what I'm doing now.
Robert will be meeting fellow maskers in person for the first time.
I just try to push myself. I try to do something that I haven't done before and not keep doing the same thing over and over again. I just keep pushing the edge because at my age, I don't have that much time left before I'm starting to go backwards, before I start disintegrating, before I'm limited on my travel, what I can do, my seeing, my hearing.
While Robert settles in, John and the other organizers set up for the event.
It's called Doll Box. It's part of the whole idea of being not just a rubber doll, but a toy.
As the Rubber Doll World Rendezvous gets underway, the dolls begin their descent. Meanwhile, a nervous Robert applies some final touches.
I don't have any friends that
that mask at where I live, so I just came to see what kind of people do mask and wear rubber and are rubber dolls.
What kind of people are they?
I don't know yet. All right. That might work for the week. Okay, all right. Jeez, I don't know. No, I'm gonna go with that. But then with the gloves, damn it. When I do it, I want to look really good. Okay. I think that's it.
Sherry, we beat it last. Oh, please.
I am so glad you made it. Well, it looks sensational in your picture. You look twice as sensational in real time. Very few people who want to do this choose to go out.
The gang's all here. Now it's time for introductions.
What happens at the rendezvous stays at the rendezvous. Is everybody okay if we just kind of go around the room and have you say your name?
Sherry, this is my first time.
First time here.
Lease, Northern California, 6th Street, Rubber Doll World Rendezvous.
Never Mr. Rendezvous yet. I'm Cam, and I'm just kind of enjoying being the queen that I really am.
Coming up, the maskers get unwanted attention. It's day 2 of the Rubber Doll World Rendezvous. Time for Femskin crafter Adam's moment in the spotlight.
I know what I'm here to do. I'm here to talk. I'm here to answer questions. It's fun to meet the guys. I've never met them before in real life.
So what's the plan then?
Without further ado, Adam and T-Bite.
In 2006, we're struggling. We're doing cabinets, and Femskin is somewhat started.
I got it.
Adam's nervous, but he quickly hits his stride.
I wish they were more realer. As long as this market sells, I'm happy where I am. I don't need to be any richer. Hopefully I don't get any poorer. And I'll just continue making this stuff until it's perfect. We're done? All right, thank you.
Adam's presentation and other rendezvous events have been held in the privacy of a hotel. But tonight, the attendees will take a field trip to a downtown nightclub.
Never mind. Not anymore.
As it's running down your head.
Right.
Remind me why you married him again?
Gotta go to the
It's
store.
entertaining.
Organizer John is busy getting ready for the evening's festivities. By hosting a nightclubbing excursion, John hopes to alleviate fears fellow maskers may have about appearing in public.
Most rubber dolls are very secretive about their life because there is still a lot of social pressure to conform. When they come to the RWR, it's an opportunity to do as much or as little as they want to for the weekend.
Co-organizer Vanessa already embraces the outside world.
I do like the attention that I get when I can look pretty and look beautiful. By putting on the mask, it allows me to have that
little bit of fame for a little while and have that feel of what it's like to be a little bit of a celebrity and get all of that attention.
The maskers make their way to the club, where they get plenty of attention from other patrons.
It reminded me of, like, I'm walking by a window boutique and I see nothing but a mannequin.
The first time I've ever seen it, it was a little bit interesting. I can see where some people would be like, you know, shield your children's eyes, but in my opinion, it's not anything crazy. It's Minneapolis. It's too cold to give a
If they go out in public, I think they're afraid of not being accepted and that people are going to say something or even worse, possibly try to do something to them. I mean, there's the old saying, you know, safety in numbers. And I think if we go out as a group, we have less opportunities for any types of problems.
The outing is a success, but outside, the mood is decidedly different. With abuse being hurled at the maskers, Adam tries to restore order.
I took a minute. I sat there and tried to keep my mouth shut because I knew the guys didn't want anything. And the thought that my dad would do it comes in my head. I'm done, that's it, I'm done. The suits, the products, a lot of me made that character. And a lot of that is harassment directly on me and how I make my money.
Coming up, Sherry hits the beach.
I never envisioned ever going out anywhere where I live. Ever. Never thought about it.
Why'd you put that on? Can I touch it?
Yes, go right here.
Oh, it's so cool.
It's silicone.
It is. It feels good.
It feels good on me, too.
Yeah.
In England, 28-year-old Joel is immersing himself in the UK's masking scene with the help of his friends Tiff.
Just keep pushing, just keep pushing.
This could take a while.
Could take a while, yeah.
And Sophie.
It's like looking at your big sister brush her hair.
Joel's hosting a tea party in his backyard.
I'm quite happy to go and get a coffee like this.
It's one of the first times that Joel's been outside in costume.
Ooh, goodies!
Where his neighbors can see him.
I always saw masking purely as a after-dark activity, something that should be kept between perhaps a couple or a group of friends that, you know, you keep completely separate. Now being able to mingle the two, I mean, it's just a bit uplifting. Well, it's just kind of like a coming together and acceptance in both sides, in the fact that, of course, I have the vanilla friends and I have the after-dark friends, and now there's this grey area in the middle where it can all kind of...
You're the grey area.
I thought I was more the vanilla. So would you ever consider nullification being seen as a norm?
No.
No.
I don't think I ever will. No, not in my lifetime.
Do you think it will ever kind of move towards I don't want to say high fashion, but a culture in itself that become accepted in that kind of form?
It already has become a culture in itself, otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
Being a part of the culture feels fun. Part of something that not everyone is
aware of yet.
I know that there are more dolls out there. It would be nice to get us all together. I know there's the doll meet in the States, but it would be nice to have one more local in Europe somewhere. An excuse to go to, I don't know, Berlin or somewhere. Paris.
Okay, well, I'll catch you later. It's good seeing you. Be freezing spicy, maybe. Bye. He's mine.
A few months after the Rubber Doll World Rendezvous, Robert's feeling newly empowered. As Sherry, he's about to step out for a stroll near his Southern California home.
This is the Newport Beach pier, and this is where all the restaurants and bars and kids hang out at, and the surfers surf, and the drinkers drink, and the partiers party, and this is where I did all those things. And now I'm back as Sherry, and it's a little overwhelming right now, because I never envisioned ever going out anywhere where I live. Ever. Never thought about it.
Is it liberating?
A little intimidating right now. Let's just say I'm more intimidated than anything else.
Hey, what is that? What's up, Foxy? See what you got?
You're looking at it.
Turn it around. All right, that's what I'm talking about.
How'd you put that on? Can I touch it?
Yes, go right ahead.
Oh, it's so cool.
It's silicone.
It is. It feels good. Let me feel.
Feels good on me, too.
Yeah. It's weird, but like in a cool, weird way. It's like, whoa, what's that? You want to check it out.
Yeah, it definitely makes you curious.
Yeah, yeah, you're curious. Oh. Just remember who you are on the inside. You'll be good. You're good.
Afternoon. Hello.
Tell me what just happened.
What just happened is I went out with a mask and talked to real people on a one-to-one basis without fear, without them being derisive or making fun of me or anything like that.
He is beautiful. I know he's a man, no? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, he's beautiful. You are very, very beautiful.
What does she look like?
She looks like a beautiful woman. That's what she looks like. Absolutely.
This totally blows my mind. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing that I never, ever even considered I'd ever do. It's beyond reasoning, beyond imagination, beyond anything that I can think of. Like living in a dream, or living in an imagination, or suddenly the world changing on you upside down. It's exciting.